Hello, beloved one. Haumateme here, the embodiment queen, helping men and women to finally break free from generational toxic relationship and tap into the unwavering self-love and embody their confidence so that they can crush it in the boardroom or bedroom in 90 days or less. And today I'm just here to have a conversation about embracing your power. Because power is not something that is found outside. It's something that is coming from within us. And for anything to change, you get to go within. Because all that is happening outside is a reflection of what is within. And that's what I'm here to have a conversation about. And before we can start, as I said, this is a pre-masterclass for the upcoming 3 days Extraordinary Woman Embodiment. So I just want to ask you, who do you know who needs this? And if it's you, the question is, have you registered? And why not? Because when I'm talking about embodying your power, it's just that's with the decision and the choices that you made. That's why yesterday we spoke about the personal commitment. It starts with you. So some of you are so devoted, committed, and making love with mediocre, making love with pain, that the only thing that you can do is talk about it, bond around it, and not do anything that is going to add or take you to where you want to go. And that is choosing to just be normal. And if you are here, I strongly believe there is something that connected you to me, and that is you are not normal. You are not settling for mediocre. You are not giving your power to stories. You might have gone through a lot of things, but you know that is not your identity, because we are on a mission. This is a movement to say that no matter what you experience, whether you experience pain in life, whether you are born in a dysfunctional family, this is a commitment to say it ends with us. There is no how we want to live life and allow our children and grandchildren to live the life that we lived. So what are you committing to? And with that, just with that said, I want to talk about some principles that I've learned in change management. I'm actually change management expert. I'm certified in that, APMG. So one thing that I learned, there is this whole mentality of, I know that. You may hear something when I say something, and the first thing that comes to your mind is kind of like, oh, I know that. I know that. The whole knowing, where your knowing is way more than what you truly implement, what you're seeing happening in your life, and that is not life-changing. You may hear a word when I'm talking about responsibility. You know the word, you may have heard it many times, but the question is, how do you connect with the word? How do you apply, implement that word in your life? You understand? And one other thing, when I speak about transformation, when I talk about embodiment, you can hear the word responsibility, worthy, love, and your mind knows what it means, but your body is telling a different story. So as we are going through this journey, I'm inviting you to be present in your body. Do not listen with your head. Be more into your body. Just for this time, give yourself permission to be all in with your body and see how everything lands when you are connected. So just take a deep breath there. And before I can jump in fully into this, I also want to talk about how you're showing up in your life. Are you showing up as a spectator in your life? Kind of like, I'm just going to look at what is happening and see what they're doing, just from a distance. Or you are active in your life. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you think you know everything, you're just going to show up with that. You hear something that's kind of like, I know that, immediately you block it because you think you know. And I'm just inviting you in this journey to be in the state of not knowing. I'm just inviting you as well to show up fully. That is, be an active participant. Even if you've never participated in this group, commented, or anything, choose this time to give yourself permission to be active and also to take action on the assignment, the homework that is given, because it's your life. That is you being in your power. And as an extraordinary person, that is, if you are here, you are active in your life. You are open to growing and learning and deepening, because you may know something, but the moment you allow, it deepens. Right? So with that said, I hope you are ready. So let me know where you're watching this from, and invite your family, invite your friends, because the most important thing in life is to grow together. So if you are in this by yourself, not with your family, not with the people that you're normally having conversation with, what I want to ask you is, why are you leaving those you love out? Why are they not here? Because one thing with compatibility is that growing together. That's what creates compatibility, right? So what I just want to start with here, in the sense of embracing our power and transforming our life inside out, I want to talk about the importance of full responsibility. This is the first step that creates that profound transformation in your life. This is the first step that you need to take for you to really be the creator of your life. If somehow you believe that someone has the power to do something, looking at your happiness, your interest, your purpose, your passion, how you feel in your emotions and all that, then you are giving your power away. So I'm just here to invite you to take your power back. I remember, as much as I've known this to a certain extent, but when it landed on me, it was when, after my daughter was bitten by dogs. And I was totally distraught, in pain, in the blame, and all that. And it kind of like anchored at the time when I was very sensitive and I didn't want to listen to anything, about take full responsibility and all that. Like, how am I responsible for the dogs? The child was not with me and all that, And the question was, what is it that you would have done if you were there? What's the point of blaming him? If at all you were there, it's possible that your daughter may have been bitten by dogs still in your presence. Because the first thing that we do often is to blame, but that only takes our power away. It anchors us in pain. So profound transformation, the foundation of it, for you to be able to change inside out, is first thing, embracing that you are responsible for your life, you are responsible for your health, you are responsible for your finances, you are responsible for the career, profession, business that you choose, you are responsible for the outcome that you receive. That is not from the blame thing, as in like, what did I do wrong to create this? It's you embracing what is coming through and being the extraordinary person that you are, that is stepping out of the normal and asking yourself questions that are going to give you answers that are more empowering. As I've said many times, what is wrong is out there, and so is what is right. So the question is, what are you choosing in every moment? Are you with me? Are we together here? So with this, I'm just going to talk a little bit on the 3 points, which is the generational toxic patterns and the power of responsibility. And I'm going to talk about that embody the unwavering self-love and confidence, because we are coming from there is our ancestors, those who walked this earth before us, and we are carrying their names. We are born into that. Some of the things that happen, as much as you can say, how did I create this? It's what you were born into. When I talk about being set free from generational toxic relationship, you are repeating what you've seen happening. And as I'm speaking about this, I want you to connect with that and ask yourself, where do you see these patterns being repeated in your life? That is learned behavior, reactions, the beliefs. When you look at your relationship and your sister's relationship, your mother's relationship, what can you say? What is the one thing that is similar here? And how is that benefiting you, or what is that costing you? When you look at your own personal life, professional life, spiritual life, are you evolving or you are stuck in one place? Because you need to look at what this is costing you. It's not like, oh, I'm aware of that. My sister is, oh, my mother, and then you wear all these things in your head, because if you do that, they will also wear you as a crown. What are you doing about it? Because they're holding you back, they're holding your success back. And with this, I'm just gonna share, when I talk about toxic pattern. My father, when I was young, he was addicted as well to alcohol, in the sense of, I don't know, it's addiction at the end of the day. If at all someone drinks often, and there is certain behaviors and all that. And I've seen the same patterns coming up as well with the people that I dated, especially those ones that I had children with, you know, where it's the same pattern, alcoholic pattern, that is like repetitive, and it's also causing that havoc, that dysfunction in the relationship. I've seen it happening in the relationships that I was in. And when I look back at my parents and the problems that they had, or the fights that they had, it was still alcohol. And I went back and also looked at other people, like relatives and all that. There was that alcohol pattern, and it was very evident in my life as well. So I had a choice at some point to look at where I'm at and look at the patterns that my parents had, the patterns that I had, and I made a choice. Do I continue this because it's what I've seen, or I'm choosing to choose differently? But it was costing me my purpose. If I stayed in those relationships, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I wouldn't be serving in the way that my soul desired. So at times, when you say, at times your purpose is going to cost you something, is that it's going to get you out of your comfort zone. It's going to take you out of the normal and ask you to choose a pattern that is different. And when I'm talking about choosing something different, there is ancestors that will come through. And that coming through because they felt that you are not safe. When you're talking about stepping out and embracing your gifts, when you're talking about a woman having a voice, having a name, having an identity, it's kind of like you don't feel safe. And often this is showing up indeed in relationships, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's whatever misogyny that happens, children being taken, which is like, this was very evident in my life, where there is that parental alienation that is just happening, judicial injustices and all that. This is still the forces that, when you look at it, you can look at it from the surface of the physical of what is happening, but there are other forces behind that, which from the mind you can't see that. So this is what I talk about when I say there is some external influences and there is also internal influences, because as much as there's other things, you've got a choice. It's not you didn't cause all the things to happen, you didn't create it, but at the end of the day, it's your responsibility to heal that. It doesn't matter whether your ancestors went through it or not, because I've come across people who were very angry, and when it comes to ancestors, they'll tell me that, no, I don't want to hear anything about ancestors, because if they were here, what did they do? There is a lot that they did. Otherwise, things wouldn't be possible the way they are possible right now. So I want you to look at that. What are the internal influences, when you're looking at your life, and what are the external ones, where there are parents that are just coming from within, there are other people involved. But when it comes to you, where are you taking that full responsibility, to say, I'm going to draw a line here? What are you aware of? And what are you recognizing? And what are those patterns? We'll jump more on this in the 3 days masterclass, and the question is, what are you doing to change those patterns? So for me, taking that responsibility, I still remember, like I said, I was going through different relationship, different people, but it's like it was just one person, the same thing happening after the other, the same thing happening after the other. But when I chose to say I'm responsible for my life, I gotta choose how I'm gonna experience life. That was me taking full control. As much as it was not easy, as much as a lot of things happened, but on the other hand, I knew that my happiness is my responsibility. For me to be able to live and do something that is fulfilling, I get to get out of the normal, which one of the things was this when it comes to my purpose, my ex-husband was against it. He felt that I was crazy. That was someone who I was very close to. That is someone who, when you're talking about your passion, your purpose, and all that, you will expect. We often expect our partners and family to be there cheering us in whatever that makes us happy, whatever that is transformational and all that. But at times they don't understand. Some are so stuck in what they were handed that they don't even see the vision. Whatever dreams that you had, they may not see it. Some may not be made, may feel uncomfortable because of your dreams that you're coming with, because if you have someone who does not have those bigger dreams, they may feel like it's a burden on them. Like, how am I going to make that possible? Because they can't go that far. And this is why you get to be intentional about the people that you're around with, your community, the conversations that you are having. Who are you having those conversations with? Because your family might not be in it. Your partner might not be in it. That's why it's very important that you find a mentor and a community that supports your mission. And it still adds into what I shared yesterday about the personal commitment. Because when you are committed to yourself, you know what is true for you. You know that your purpose was given to you. And it's for you to go ahead and live it. Right? But if you are not, you may just go with what somebody's telling you, which may not be your truth. And I talk a lot about tapping into that unwavering self-love, even when you're talking about self-responsibility, because self-responsibility is self-love. I'm going to love myself enough to look at all aspects of myself and love them. I'm going to love myself enough to live my purpose. I'm going to love myself enough to take responsibility for my health, for my joy, for my love life. Where when you feel like you are not compatible with someone, you don't sit there and force someone to change. You respect their choice. Because when I'm talking about an extraordinary person, is somebody who respects other people's truth. At times you sit in your what you think is right, and you deny somebody's truth because you think your way is the only right way. But when you take the right and wrong out of it, you get to respect that this person has chosen alcohol addiction as their path. They have chosen mediocre as their path. They've chosen toxicity as their path. They've chosen negativity as their path. And I respect that choice. That is, I'm going to believe you when you tell me something. I'm not going to fight with your truth. But I'm going to respect what I know is true for me. I'm going to respect my soul truth. Are you doing that? And self-love aligns you with your authentic self. Because when you talk about what you truly desire, that body that you desire, that sexy body, when you talk about the wealth that you need, when you're talking about whatever relationship that you desire, it's in alignment with your authentic self. And when you are busy living aspects of yourself that do not exist, then you meet people who are also at that level. And one question that I love to ask myself when I feel when something is disturbing me with somebody's inauthenticity, I often come back to myself and ask myself, where am I not being authentic with myself? Because when you are authentic with yourself, you get to choose, and that choice can be as easy as, I love you and I love me. I respect your truth and I respect my truth. And you are right and I'm right, because there's no right and wrong. But on the other hand, our truth can both exist, but it doesn't mean that we get to be together. because people have an illusion of the togetherness. But love, we can still love each other from far, right? And also the decision that you're making. Like I said, who are you having conversation with? What are your true desires? Who is in your environment? Who are you still holding into just because it's family, just because it's a partner, and you are not willing to look at the truth? So with that said, there is a homework that I just gave you to identify a toxic pattern that you inherited or learned. Because at times we learn that relationship that you stay in and you change, you're not yourself, you become this toxic person where it's kind of like, I'm just going to take you off your head. I'm going to, there's just this competition of toxicity. There are relationships where I lost myself, where at some point I stopped and I was like, who the fuck am I? Who the heck is this one? You know, and of course that toxicity is in you. But when you meet somebody who is like so committed to it, then they dominate and you bring out your own toxic aspect. They come to play. So the assignment, if you choose to accept it, is to pick one toxic pattern you inherited on land, and then observe in the coming weeks and see how it's showing up in your daily life. And you're not going to be judging yourself or anything. And you're going to start choosing a practice. Like, what are you going to do to not continuously repeat it? And whatever that you're doing, is it aligning you with the person you wish to become, or with the person who had whatever stories that you're still holding into? And if you choose to, like, a reflection is more like reflecting on the moment when you felt more empowered and in control of your life, when you knew you were the driver of your life. What is it that you were doing? Or even in what area of your life do you feel more in control? And how can you incorporate more of this action in your daily life? And I would like you to also identify a recent situation where you felt a negative emotion because of someone else's actions, and reflect on how taking responsibility for your reaction could change the outcome or your feelings about the situation. And then I want you to step into that, envisioning your life without this generational toxic patterns. Who are you going to become? How are you going to show up? How is your health going to be like? How is your love relationship going to be like? What will you be doing? Look at your professional life and your personal life. What kind of relationships are you having? What are you saying yes to? What are you saying no to? Right? So that's it for today. We're just talking about breaking free from toxic parents and embodying self-love and confidence. That is embracing your power and changing from within. I don't know if you have any question. Ask your question below. And if you want to dive deeper, reach out to me. If you haven't registered for the masterclass, register, invite more people, and choose you at all times, because you are the most important thing that ever happened. And one thing that I just want to remind you is that if you do not look at the generational toxic relationship that you have adopted, if you just continue living them, you're not gonna grow. You're not gonna grow. You're gonna stay stuck, even spiritually, health-wise. There's some health ailments that you have inherited. Your relationships, you wanna stay stuck in relationships that are toxic, keep on attracting different people, but with the same qualities. The question is that how you wanna live? Parents where your parents were not close, and then you and your siblings are not close, and this is going to your children, your nieces, and all that have seen this patterns repeat itself. And this is why I'm saying it ends with us, and you're going to continue living, you're going to live your life not in alignment with your true authentic self. Is that what you want? Change begins with taking full responsibility, and that's what I'm inviting you to. Because if you don't take full responsibility of who you are, what you want, and who you want to become, and what you want to create, then it's going to be hard for you to really see some changes in your life. You're going to stay stuck in blame, in victim mode, And that's not what you're here for. And with that, I love you.